on back to the UK in a sense, but also international affairs, because here's the latest from Chatham House. This was published a few days ago. The UK should not rule out sending troops to Ukraine despite Putin's nuclear threats. This is by a guy called Keir Giles, and he is described as Senior Consulting Fellow, Russia and Eurasia Programme. But of course, we know the name Keir Giles because he, of course, was a fairly central character within Integrity Initiative, which was all about, if you remember, the promotion of anti-Russian narratives. So perhaps we need to take this particular piece in that context. So let's see what he's talking about. Backing down in the face of Russian threats, he said, is the worst option. The UK should join France in using what he's describing as strategic ambiguity. The theatre, he's talking about here the theatre that Russia uses to sort of promote the idea that it was under pressure in some way, that it was forced into the special military operation. That theatre was both diplomatic, with the British ambassador summoned to the foreign ministry in Russia, he said, on Monday to warn of retaliation, and nuclear. So he's ramping up the nuclear threat here. Moscow announced it would be holding exercises involving tactical nuclear weapons in the near future to remind the world yet again that it has them. And he said that Britain's explicit endorsement of strikes into Russia, because Britain seems to be one of the only countries that is supporting the idea of Ukraine striking into Russian territory itself. Britain's explicit endorsement of strikes into Russia could also have been presented as a consequence for Russia's attacks against Europe, and with the promise that more would follow. What's more, explicitly allowing Ukraine to strike Russia with British weapons as well as its own opens up other possibilities for targeting Russia's ability to wage war. So quite an incredible position to come from the main think tank within the British establishment, I suppose. Vanessa, I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that, but if not, we'll move on to what's going to happen to Gaza next.
Yeah, let's move on. Sorry, my thoughts are not very gathered after the disaster trying to sign on in the beginning.
Yes, okay, no problem.
So yes, let's move on